Hello and welcome to this lecture of physics. This is Arvind Tiwari and I will be taking class 12th first chapter, that is electrostatics. This unit electrostatics, it deals with the charges. As you know, the word electro means something related to electricity or charges, and static means which is stationary. So in short, we can say that electrostatic will be dealing with the charges which are stationary, that means those charges which are not moving. Now in this unit, what we will be covering are, we will be trying to touch charges and their properties. We will try to understand what are charges and what are their properties. Thereafter we will be taking up the conservation of the charges, which is a property of the charge, and we will be taking as a subtopic. Then quantization of charge, which is another topic, which is a property of the charges only. And if there be time, then we will also try to touch a few things related to force between the charges. So as of now, we know something about the charges. Let us see something detailed about the charges. So let's see what we have here. We have now charges and their properties. So to it, we first see what is a charge. A charge is a property of matter. As studied earlier, what is charge? When we say charges, and we have studied about the matter. So about the matter, we know that a matter is anything which has mass. A matter is anything which has volume, that means occupies space. When we have studied many properties of the matter is made up of very small particles. A lot of properties we have studied. Now this is also a property of the matter. That means what is charge? Charge is a property of matter. Now the property of matter is, when we say about the charge is a property of matter. Now let us see about the charges. We can represent the charges by the symbolic form Q. Generally charges are represented in the symbolic form Q, either capital or small. This is the general representation of the charges. Now the charges are carried on either electrons, protons. So these electrons, protons, they are the carriers of the charges. Now we also know that charges are of two types. So a charge Q, say, can be of two types. It can be either of positive nature, it can be either positive, or it can be either negative. So positive and negative is just a way to separate the two properties of the charge. That means charges can be of two types. If they are of the same type, they try to repel each other, and if they are of opposite type, they try to attract each other. So charges are of two types, positive and negative charges. Now as of now, we are aware that positive charges are carried mostly by the protons. The positive charges, they are carried by protons, and negative charges, they are carried by electrons. These are the things that we are aware up to now. Now the quantity of the charge is measured in units called coulombs. So quantity of the charge is measured in units called coulombs, where 1 coulomb of charge, we will look about how many charges are there. When we study about the electrons, protons, we generally say that one electron will carry a charge of 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. This is, we say, minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb of charges. So this much charge which carried by one electron. And similarly, about the protons, so protons also carry a charge of, one proton will carry a charge of 1 plus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb of charges. So this is almost the common things that we know up to now. But generally we have what are charges? Charge is a property of matter, and they can be of two types, either positive or negative. Now charges are measured in the units of coulombs. Coulomb is the unit of measuring the charges, and one electron that has a charge of minus 1.6 in 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. and one proton will also have a charge of plus 1.6 in 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb of charges. Now we come to its properties. The first property of the charge is that is additivity of the charges. So we come to first property, that is additivity of charges. We come to it, additivity of charges. Additivity of charges means which charges can be added algebraically. That means if I have a plus 2 coulomb of charge and I have a minus 1 coulomb of charge, they can be added algebraically and there will be a total of plus 1 coulomb of charge. So this is called the additivity of charges. This is first property of the property of charges, that is additivity of the charges. Charges can be added algebraically. Similarly, if I have a plus 3 coulomb of charge over here and I have another plus 3 coulomb of charge over here, we will have a total of plus 6 coulomb of charges. So now we are clear with the first property, that is the additivity of the charges. Now coming to our next property, that is next property will be conservation of the charges. Now let's see about the conservation of the charges. Now conservation of charges means charges are conserved. This means as of now we already know about conservation of momentum, conservation of energy. So similarly we have the conservation of charges. Conservation of charges means charges can neither be created nor be destroyed. So we have charges can neither be created, charges can neither be created nor destroyed. So similar to the conservation of energy, conservation of momentum, we have conservation of the charges. That means charges can neither be created nor be destroyed, but they can be transferred from one body to the other. Suppose I have here one body and it has supposed to go charge of plus 2 coulomb, and I get here another body which is uncharged and bring it close to it. Maybe some charges are transferred to it by some way or the other way. So this is how we get some, after separation we will be getting some charge. Maybe here we will get plus 1 coulomb of charge and here in this body we will have plus 1 coulomb of charge. Maybe it may happen. So charges cannot be created, they can be transferred from one body to another body. Okay, either protons or electrons, they can be just transferred. So we are clear with the conservation of the charges. That means charges can neither be created nor be destroyed. Now next we come to the quantization of the charge. Quantization of charge means, see here, quantization, this is a small concept, which is quantization of charges. Quantization means charges are quantized. Charges are quantized. What does this mean, quantized? So we say charges are quantized. What does it mean that the charges are quantized? It means that whenever we have a charge, it will be a natural number multiple of the smallest charge. Now the smallest charge that we consider, smallest charge that is possible is, the smallest charge will be, that is the charge on an electron, and it will be the smallest charge, this one charge on an electron, it is, as we said earlier, it is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb of charges. So if I want to consider any other charge, it will be a natural number multiple of this charge. So if I cannot say that I have half an electron of charge of half an electron, that means I cannot have a charge equal to that 0.8 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb of charge. I cannot have this. Similarly, because it is not a natural number multiple of this charge. So quantization of charge means charge is a natural number multiple of charge on an electron. That means Q is equal to NE, where En is any natural number and E is the charge on an electron. So where Q is the total charge, so we take Q, total charge will be Ne, where N is a natural number. N can be any natural number, and E is a charge on an electron. Charge on an electron, or we can say a charge on an proton also. So is positive, negative both included over here. So now we are clear with this. Similarly, like we have the whenever we have mangoes, we can count. That means charges are countable. It simply means charges are countable, quantization of charges. Now we consider another small topic, how we can charge other bodies. Now let us see here how can we charge other bodies. What are the ways by which we can charge the objects? How can we charge the objects? So now we have charging of the objects. How we can charge different objects? Charging objects. That means how can we get a charge on an object? See, as we said that here, conservation of charges, that charges can neither be created nor be destroyed. They can just be transferred from one body to other. So consider from the structure of the atom. In an atom we have protons which are positively charged, electrons which are negatively charged, and neutrons which are not charged. So if an atom loses one electron, suppose here we have 6 positive charges, 6 protons, and we are going to have a total of here 6 electrons. We are going to have 6 electrons and 6 protons. Now if it loses one electron, so there will be a total of 6 protons and 5 electrons, so it will have one positive charge. So this is how objects are getting charged. So if this object has gained charge, other object will get a negative charge. So here we have not destroyed one electron, we have just transferred one electron from this body to another body. Now we see here how we can transfer the charges from one body to the other. That means it's charging the objects. The first method that we learn here how to charge an object is the charging by friction. We come at charging by friction. How we can charge different objects. Now we have charging by friction. Charging by friction means, it just means rubbing one body against another, rubbing two bodies in between. Now simply this is a common example that we have seen up now. When we take a comb or take a balloon, when we take a balloon and rub it on our hair and then try to stick it on the wall, it gets sticked. When we take our scale, rub it on our hair and get it on the bits of paper, so what will happen? The bits of paper get attached to the scale. They jump and get attached to the scale. So it means that some charges have been transferred from our hair to the scale. That is why it has gained some charges. So charging by friction, when we rub one object another. So charging by friction means rubbing one object on another. So by rubbing, what we do, when we rub one object on the other, then there is some transfer of the electrons. So when some electrons are transferred from one object to the other, both the objects get charged. The one object gets negatively charged, whereas the other gets positively charged. Got it? So first point is clear, how we can charge objects. We can charge object by friction. Okay, then we have charging by, next is charging by conduction. Charging by conduction. See, charging by conduction. Suppose we have here a metallic sphere. We have a metallic sphere A which is positively charged. See, and we bring a metallic ball B which is uncharged. We bring a metallic ball B which is uncharged and bring it in contact with A. Now what will happen? Some positive charges will move to B. See, now some positive charges will move to B and we will get here what? We will get here some charges on A. When we try to separate them, when we separate these two, when we separate A and B, we have some charges on A and some on B. So in this way we have charged one object by other using conduction. That means bringing in contact, where one object was charged earlier and other object was uncharged. So this is another method of charging. Now let us see another example. The third object, how we can charge what are the other ways of charging. Now other ways of charging that are the third point. We have charging by induction. We have charging by induction. Now see, in this point we will see how we can charge an object without getting in contact with it. So let's have here an object A. This is one of the examples of your NCERT. You must look in it. So this is an object A which is conducting, and we are placing it on an insulated stand. So this object A, it is charged and it is placed on an insulated stand. Now we bring another object B. See, we are bringing another conducting object B near A. Now, this is object B and it is also on an insulated stand. We bring it near A. Now we just bring it near A, we don't touch it. So when it comes closer to A, due to induction, what happens? Due to induction, there is some displacement of charges over here. Now what I said, when I bring the ball B near A, due to induction there will be some charges which are induced on B. So how it is induced? There will be some displacement, then due to this positive charge there will be some negative charges over here, and positive charges will be displaced on the other side due to repulsion. So there will be some displacement in B. Now we take another ball C in contact with B. C. Now C is also on an insulated stand. This is ball C. And what will happen? Due to these positive charges, what will happen? Here will be some negative charges, some positive charges. This will happen. This is going to happen. That means overall these two are going to cancel. What will happen? These two, since B and C both are conducting, it will behave as a complete single object. Now during this single object, what will happen? Here negative charges will appear on this side, and on this side of C we will have positive charges. See how it happened. Got it? When we brought ball B near A, the object B got charged on two other sides. Then negatively charged on the nearer part and positively charged on the other part. When we brought another object C in contact with B, see, both B and C were uncharged. So when we brought B near C, what happened? These two started behaving as a single object since they are conducting. So they started behaving as a single object. What happened? The nearby, here negative charges appeared, and the farther part here we have some of the positive charges which have appeared. Now after this, if we separate this B and C, now if we separate this B and C, we will be having, what we will be having is, we will be having here object B with some negative charges, B with some negative charges, and object C. We will be having object C with some positive charges. What we have done here, after the object B had some negative charges has appeared on B and some positive charges had appeared on C, we separated B and C. When we separated, the object B got negatively charged and the object C got positively charged, and thereof we separated both the charges. Since object B and C were uncharged and we have charged both the objects B and C without touching A, so this we have done charging by induction. So these are the three main methods of how we can charge objects. So what we have done, we have revised. Just look back everything that we have done up to now. In this unit we have done first we have done what are charges. We have understood what are charges. Just revise. Charges are the properties of matter. Now what we have the other, what are the properties of the matter? In the properties of what are the properties of the charges? In the properties of charges we have done the conservation of the charge. Conservation of charge, that means charges can neither be created and nor be destroyed. They can just be transferred from one object to the other. And we have also studied the quantity of charge, the representation. And what is the quantization of charge? Quantization of charge means charges can neither be charges are quantized, that means they are natural number multiples, that is Q is equal to N E. And in the last topic, that is force between charges, this topic we have not covered and we will be covering it in our next lecture. Any questions may be asked through the comments on this link. Thank you.